Themed events are my bread and butter. They are some of the greatest joys in this little life, especially for nerds like me who wish to immerse themselves in the worlds they love. Renaissance fairs, tea parties, masquerades, and balls. To me, there's truly nothing better than getting together with your best friends, going all out in hair and makeup and dress, enjoying cool food and creative drinks, and appreciating the atmosphere that was created for you. Music, decor, and bonus points if there's dancing or a show. Taking loads of pictures to commemorate the experience, and at the end of the night, joining in a cuddle pile with your friends, a little bit drunk, and falling asleep in your makeup. Unfortunately for the people who attended the Detroit Bridgerton ball, this was not their experience. Hello, ladies, men, and non-binary friends. Welcome back. For those who don't know, this past Sunday there was an unlicensed Bridgerton ball that was held in Detroit, Michigan. It was a widely attended event with over 1,500 tickets sold, and it was an absolute fucking train wreck.
Where it went wrong was the lack of structure, and just for the amount that people paid to be there, trash.
I don't even want to get into the queen right now. First thing she said was, "What up, though?" Like, I get it, we Detroit, but where's Queen Charlotte? Who are you? They had one violinist, and I give her props. She held it down by herself. They didn't even put the violinist that was most on theme in the main ballroom. They put her on the second floor. Second entertainer, a pole dancer, a stripper at that, a pole dancer stripper. I never seen a pole in the show.
It's a hot mess. The people, they're serving. It's a hot mess. I thought I was going to see tuxedos. No.
Okay, so like I said, we paid for VIP. This was VIP, and they were not checking anybody in. There was no one sitting at the table when we walked in, so we just kind of walked in and sat ourselves. And they had one table of food. Now, we were told there was more food in the back, but like, I don't know how true that is.
The decor alone was less than $500. We waited in line for about an hour to get up to this bar, for it to only be mocktails, for it to be $7 lemonades, $7 cranberry juices. And that's the bar that y'all meant on the flyer? A mocktail bar? Y'all played with our money, y'all played with our time, y'all played with our enjoyment of the show, our experiences, y'all played with us real bad.
This event was supposed to take place on August 25th, but was postponed 3 days before and rescheduled for September 22nd, this past Sunday. There was initial backlash for this, but they assured that the event was still on, it was still happening, and it would still be as grand as everyone had expected. Unfortunately, this was the first of many issues. Tickets for this event started at $119 and went as high as $1,000. All of the tickets were sold out, which means that the event I'm about to describe, some people paid over $1,000 for it. I need you to remember that before we head into this. If every single person in attendance paid the lowest possible amount for this event, which didn't happen, all of the tiers were sold out, so they made way more than this, but if everyone purchased, theoretically, the lowest tier ticket for this event, the event coordinators would be walking away with over $178,000 from tickets alone. They also had vendors that paid to be at this event, so it's possible. If the ticket numbers are accurate, this organization made about $500,000 on this event. Again, we don't know the exact breakdown or the exact numbers, but that is a life-changing amount of money over an event that was a literal scam. Oh, that also doesn't include the carriage rides that people paid for and some didn't even get. The Detroit Bridgerton ball was a complete cash grab scam. My family and I just left the Detroit Bridgerton ball. It was absolutely horrendous. There was nowhere to sit. Although the venue was nice, the decor was sparse and extremely tacky. It wasn't even Bridgerton themed. We spent $400 on tickets for a complete BS experience. I read that the event company made hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue for this event. We went to the Bridgerton Ball in Chicago 2 years ago, and it was absolutely beautiful. We were so disappointed. This event honestly was so damaging to the Bridgerton brand. I'm so shocked this was even allowed. Several people were complaining and upset with the event. Anyone else go to the ball tonight? We showed up at 6:50ish. No one asked for our tickets, so we just walked in. All attendees looked absolutely decked out, but there was zero direction. We essentially just followed the crowd to the third floor where we saw local freaking vendors selling goods like we were at a local festival. Look, I love Japanese Kit Kats just like the next person, but not at a Bridgerton ball. I saw a guy walk by with a sparkling beverage and say, "No alcohol." After seeing people sitting on the floor in disappointment, my wife and I left. Luckily, we met some other disappointed patrons in the elevator and went to the candy bar where we all had a much better time. The flower backdrop is literally a Google image. I had it as my wallpaper for a while. My girlfriend and I were there. I'm not even sure what happened tonight. No security, no one checking tickets, which is insulting because we spent $150 each. Dinner was announced 10 minutes before it was, quote, served. Again, no direction. People were wandering, and when we got to the front, someone told us we had to go, quote, find a clean plate at one of the tables. I don't drink, but apparently alcohol was promised, and there was none. Food was blah, which sucks because the vendor operates in Ferndale, and Ferndale usually does good with food. Highlight of the night was after we go to the 3rd floor to do one last scan looking for anything redeeming, and there's a DJ. Having people do the cha-cha slide and walk it out like it's a birthday party. Apparently there was a stripper too. Didn't see that, but I did see the pole. Wild. Nothing about this was authentic feeling. It was so inauthentic, I'm still laughing about it from home. How sad. Anyone could have put on a better ball with 2 hours notice and dash pass. Very disappointed with events. Spread this like wildfire, they stole our money. Yes, there was a stripper. Everyone was looking around, flabbergasted, dressed in very nice outfits, watching this girl twirl on a pole and take her clothes off. I don't know whose idea that was. Had to have been Uncle's. The food was horrible, the chicken was still pink in the middle, shaking my head. The meatballs tasted like dog food smells, shaking my head. They rushed the carriage ride. It was a whole mess, but someone called Channel 7 on them and people were doing interviews with them later that evening, but yeah, a stripper on top of it, sad. I lost my mind when I saw the stripper's booty facing me. Seeing a woman's butthole was not on my bingo card for the night. No, girl, what did you do? We left after an hour. It was crowded. My friend was getting trampled. We were getting complimented a lot, but we're so soured in our mood. We probably came off bitchy. I'm calling to get my money back. Horrible decor. Hilarious. You can tell they tried to cover the frames with flowers, but gave up. What the fuck is this even supposed to be? A centerpiece. Disappointed is an understatement. I was so excited for this event. The patrons looked so nice. They were the best part of it. Not scanning our tickets was literally a slap in the face, and I knew from there. They promised so much that they didn't follow through on. A $2,000 best dressed prize, dancing lessons, games, a bar, a gentleman's walk, carriages. They had them, but they were letting people pay per ride, while people who paid for them in advance didn't even get to ride it. The food was in aluminum pans and foil. I've seen nicer kids' parties at people's houses. These tickets were on average $150 at 1,500 tickets sold. They made so much money off of us. There's a group on Facebook somewhere trying to do a class action lawsuit. I'll link it. Detroit Scammerton Ball. Can you imagine walking into a Bridgerton-themed ball with a stripper as entertainment? All seats were taken. Even if you purchased a VIP ticket, you had nowhere to sit. Dinner was disgusting. Alcohol was supposed to be included. Take a wild guess. No alcohol. No organization whatsoever. Little staff. Didn't check tickets, decorations were atrocious, overcrowded, guests were just standing around and ended up leaving. My favorite part was a comment someone made that the VIP dinner guests were served lukewarm Kool-Aid and the servers were rinsing out the plastic cups in the back to reuse them. Also, when a server dropped a plate off in front of a woman and said, "I'm sorry." Contact your credit card companies, y'all. If you paid for a service and it wasn't as described or provided, file a chargeback with the credit card company. There wasn't even a ball pit. TBH, if I spend $400 on event tickets, I'm looking into it before I go. In all fairness, they initially used the same name as the actual Bridgerton experience, and it was covered by the Detroit Metro Times and CBS News. It seemed very legit initially. I read they sold 1,500 tickets. The owner, Chelsea Beard, blocked me on Instagram because I was commenting along with other ticket buyers. The owners of Uncle and Me LLC are Chelsea Beard and Jeremy Scott. They're legit scammers. I cannot believe this. I saw her at the event. They said she never showed up, shaking my head. She knew it was a piece of shit event, then left. I found her on Facebook. For those of us out of the loop, what was the promise of the event? We were supposed to have valet parking, a bar dinner, dance lessons, DJ, entertainment, games, professional pictures if you paid extra, and carriage rides, also if you paid extra. I left because I knew they were going to run out of food. The entertainment was a stripper dancing on a pole. My quote, professional picture was trash. The whole thing was trash. The biggest complaints that came out of this event were that at the door, people weren't even checking the tickets that they had paid hundreds of dollars for. And also, there was essentially no difference between the lowest tier ticket and the highest, which was an almost $900 difference. And that is obviously a huge oversight. Like, if you're making an event that has that much of a difference in ticket price, you should make sure that your elite ticket holders get a elite experience. The event planners did not seem to decorate the venue, like hardly at all, and the decorations they did put up were incredibly cheap and were not on theme. The dinners had plastic plates, forks, and cups with blue Hawaiian punch and Welch's grape juice. They also apparently asked for people's cups back to wash out and reuse them. The servers were not on theme and were dressed in jeans, despite the very strict dress code listed in the event information that everybody else had to follow. The food looked like it was something served at an event for volunteers. It was buffet style with a little house salad, boiled chicken, which multiple accounts stated was undercooked or even raw, some kind of meatball that apparently smelled like dog food, and pasta with tomato sauce. Some people that paid for food didn't even get the food that they paid for. That would end it for me. If I paid for food and I was at this place for like 5.5 hours, which is what the event stated, that it was held for 5.5 hours, and I didn't have any food that I paid for, there would have been a murder. There would have been a murder. The event was advertised as serving alcohol. There were people that waited in line for an hour only to discover that there was no alcohol at this event. Only mocktails at cocktail prices, with a lemonade being served for $7. The event was also advertised as having themed entertainment. The entertainment was a single violinist on the second floor who allegedly was never even paid, and the event on the main floor was a stripper who was hired 3 hours before the event. This is truly a horror story, and I'm just completely awestruck seeing everything that happened, said local aerialist Tink, who performed at the event. Normally, it's not like that. Normally, when you go to a show, especially a circus performer, it's an amazing experience. You get wowed, thrilled even. It's a little dangerous, and I'm sad they didn't get to experience that. Tink has been a professional circus performer and a coach at Pole Fit in Shelby Township for 5 years. She says she was hired just 3 hours before the event and asked to pole dance. She says she's faced a lot of backlash from people online who are not happy to see her performance as part of the Detroit Bridgerton ball. When I gave them the menu, they did pick pole dancing between hair suspension, lyra hoop, and aerial sling. And pole dance is what we went with, said Tink. A lot of people thought it would have been better if I did hair suspension. I do know that's a higher price for budget, and I think because it was so last minute, if they had more time, we probably could have had hair suspension there. Even the silks. That would have been so pretty, having fabrics flying around. I think that would have matched the vibe. Tink says the company also selected and approved her costume for the occasion, a red bra and matching panty. I just feel very bad for all the patrons who showed up to the event just because my goal as a performer is to bring happiness and cheers to everyone. So it kind of just bummed me out knowing everyone was so unhappy with the outcome, she said. And I feel so bad for her. Like, it's not her fault these idiots chose her for the wrong event. Like, she was just doing her job. I'm filming.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You're so cute.
Oh, thank you.
Spin around real quick.
Okay, hold on.
I don't want to touch you because I want to screw up the continuity.
Oh, okay. Sure. I love you. Where the hell was I? Yeah, and I feel so bad for her because, like, she was paid to do a job. She showed up, she did a job. It's not her fault that the event coordinators picked probably the most inappropriate type of entertainment for this occasion. Like, she could have done silks. That would have been so cool. It probably would have been more appropriate to have, like, classical music being played. Even if they didn't have the budget, they should have done something more on theme. And to be clear, they did in fact have the budget. Now, I think the saddest thing is that all of these amazing looks and outfits were wasted on an event like this. Detroit deserves better because these attendees in particular ate the fuck down, and they deserved an event worthy of their magnificence. I would have loved to party with this group. All the dresses, the jewelry, the makeup, the hair. So many of these attendees looked amazing, but even that went unappreciated. There was a best dressed competition. They picked a man and woman participant. Allegedly, the woman that won wasn't as impressive as the rest of the attendants, and the man that won was dressed in a cowboy hat and cowboy boots, which hopefully I don't need to tell you is not even on theme for Bridgerton. Some attendants were speculating that either the winners were friends of the coordinators and were chosen because they wanted their friends to win or because they didn't want to shell out $2,000.
This best dress fiasco, I'm so irritated for all the people, especially the women, who put their time and effort into their looks, into their moment, their hair, their makeup. They were overlooked. It gave very much, I'm gonna pick my homegirl because either I want her to have this money or I don't have the money. Not to mention the male that won had on the same outfit 6 other people had on. However, he dressed his up in dingy cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. $2,000. $2,000. Y'all are playing with people's pockets. Y'all play with people's pockets.
People were also thinking that, like, maybe the people running this event just knew nothing about Bridgerton and just chose the outfits that they liked the most. But nothing is confirmed until we learn more about the situation. It was just another, like, just cherry on top of this horrible night. People were also comparing this to the Willy Wonka experience, which I have to disagree with. I think this is way worse and way more malicious because, like, the Willy Wonka experience was also a scam, yeah, sure, but it was like $40 for entry, I believe, so definitely a ripoff, but way less than even the lowest tier for tickets for this event, which, may I remind you, was over $100. And you can't just take into account the ticket price for an event like this. You also need to consider the money people spent on dresses, hair, makeup, and accessories to adhere to the dress code that the event set. In addition, the Bridgerton experience, which is like a widely popularized event that is incredibly successful, and like they have locations all around the country, attendees of this event have rated it very highly. I'm sure anyone who is even mildly aware of Bridgerton as a show has seen those TikToks of people picking like the diamond of the season. They have like beautiful lighting and music. They have a cosplayer of Queen Charlotte there as well. And this entrepreneur was clearly capitalizing off of the success of those events and the demand for an event like this. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I imagine Netflix and Shondaland have pretty good ones and don't want events like this damaging their brand. These event planners use the iconography from the show, I'm assuming without any sort of permission, and with this kind of public backlash, I wouldn't be surprised if they followed up with some kind of legal action. There's also a link in my description if anyone from the event happens to watch this. There's a Facebook group for a class action lawsuit against this business, so if you're looking to be a part of that, if you were a part of the event, that is linked in my description. So who is actually running this? This fiasco was brought to you by a company called Uncle and Me LLC. The two people associated with this event are allegedly Chelsea Beard and Jeremy Strong. Now, I did a little digging and I only ever saw Chelsea promote this event, and she is also the person blocking accounts speaking about the Detroit Bridgerton ball, but Jeremy's name has come up a few times in Reddit threads as well. Chelsea Beard has an account on TikTok and calls herself a serial entrepreneur, which made me feel icky as hell and gives me the vibe that this was all about the money in the first place. She didn't seem to care about running a good event, even if she was a fan of the show. Her purpose for this event was to make the biggest buck while selling her mommy milk tea and getting affiliate checks from her Amazon storefront. And I'll be real with you, wanting to capitalize off of something that is in demand is not inherently a bad thing, but it's clear that they cut so many goddamn corners to maximize their dollars that the final product didn't deliver the experience that she advertised. That's shitty. And I'm going to call you out on that. That's false advertising. That's a fucking scam. It might shock you, actually, well, it may not shock you, to find out that this is not the first lackluster Bridgerton event that Uncle and Me has put on. In June of this year, they had a Bridgerton-themed tea party event at the Taylor Conservatory and Botanical Gardens in Detroit. Now, this event didn't get nearly as much backlash. I think because they didn't promise nearly as much. This took place outside at the conservatory, which is beautiful. If you've ever been to like a botanical gardens worth their salt, like you know that it's fucking gorgeous. It's really hard to not feel enchanted by like a conservatory and a botanical garden. This company didn't actually need to really decorate anything besides tableware, which seems to be a theme for them, and they could rely on the venue to create most of the atmosphere. But surprise, surprise, the food was again a major complaint for some attendees. After posting our story Monday, our newsroom was notified by viewers that they had a similar experience at a Bridgerton-themed tea party in Taylor back in June. The event was put on by the same company. I'm like, this sounds familiar, Tamala Everett says she thought when she saw the Bridgerton ball controversy online this week. I'm like, this company has to be stopped. How are they able to get away with this? Profiting off of the Bridgerton name but just giving subpar performances and experiences. Everett says she paid $80 per ticket when she took her mom to the event at the Taylor Conservatory and Botanical Gardens. She says while the decor was beautiful, they waited hours in line for food that was cold when finally served. Oh my god, they both look so beautiful. Also, a little appreciation. It's a tea party. There's no tea at all. Running out of mimosa, running out of the serving glasses for the mimosas. It's just really unfortunate for such a beautiful event, said Everett. I feel like something needs to be done. This company is making a lot of money off of regular hardworking people, and it's not really fair. I really hope that people stay away from this company and these coordinators in the future because clearly they're just up to no good. And at the very least, they need to learn more about how to properly run an event before they take anyone else's money. It's not a secret that themed events are huge moneymakers, though. Fans will pay so much for the chance to live in their fictional worlds, if only for a time. The original Wizarding World at Universal Studios in Florida cost $265 million and 5 years to build. And it has made that money back more than 10 times over since its opening. If you do these kinds of things right, you get the loyalty of beloved fans willing to come back again and again. And taking that love for granted just to make a quick buck is just a shitty thing to do. Capitalizing off of people's love for a story and world for such soulless, selfish reasons, you're fucking scum, and I fucking hate you. Give these people their fucking money back. As always, I have Rwan's GoFundMe linked below. She was supposed to attend university this year, but the Israeli occupation bombed her home and her school out of existence. If you're not able to donate, that's okay. I know times are hard, but make sure to leave a comment to boost the algorithm because there's gotta be someone on this godforsaken app that can give $1 or $2. I recently finished a D&D campaign where all the ad revenue goes directly to Palestinian families, so by literally watching D&D, you are helping the people of Palestine. I will have the playlist linked in the upper right corner and down below. I also just want to say thank you to everyone that has watched my ED culture on TikTok video. I've been overwhelmed by the amount of support that it has received in my comment section and the stories that have been shared. Thank you for trusting me with this topic and feeling safe enough to be vulnerable in my comment section. I never want to take that for granted. That topic took so much out of me. And even reading comments from girls as young as 12 and 13 telling me that they won't watch ED content anymore makes it all worth it. There was one comment that I read that broke my heart that was like, I'm 13 and this video is what made me eat today. And if you're watching this video, I hope you're okay. Liv Schmidt's main account has been banned. I don't know if that was because of my video. It happened 1 week after that video came out. She's still posting on her alt account, but yeah, I wanted to give that update and I wanted to thank everybody because yeah, it's just, I don't think that video is perfect by any means, but I feel like in general it did what it needed to do. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to hear more. Please take care of yourselves.